God has fallen, and Adam and Eve have left the stage. Metatron failed. Astaroth, his wish fulfilled, is no longer here. To a new world, the survivors have found their way. And now, only you and I remain. Let the game begin. My daughters, my sons, my young spawn, my children. Godspeed on your way. Traverse through the very depths of hell. Find your place at my side.
Quite a sight. There's no short of all kinds of demons and beasts in the Coxitus. Rivers wailing. A dog, a scorpion, a lion, a sea serpent, octopuses and squids. Should probably give birth to them all. My suspicion turned to certainty after observing their traits. I could guess what kind of being Lilith had absorbed here. Well, but I figured I could point that out to her when we meet. Righted myself, my right hand clutched on the hilt of ethereal cardia. Let's go. Gave myself a curt eye. The beast wriggled, having been alerted to my presence. Now I fixed their eyes on me, and, not giving me a chance to open my mouth, lurched forward with almost palpable killing intent. Surrounded by tens of thousands of beasts, I felt very popular indeed. Was Lilith trying to tell me that she didn't wish for us to meet? Or was this a catch me you can type deal? Probably the latter. Lilith's definitely that kind of girl. I proceeded to run, kicking off the calm waters of Coxitus and Torpus. The woman I yearned for was waiting to me at far ahead. That's all I needed. It was more than enough to fill my heart with valor. I didn't care how much I was hurt. I didn't care how much I killed. I just sliced and 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 sliced. I stripped them apart, tore them to pieces, returned newborn demons back to the nether. They slithered out to the edge of hell was still far, but was a plan to rest, or waste even a single second. I sliced and diced, continued my flight. In retrospect, it was the story of my life, wasn't it? I led billions to their death, surviving alone, ended up in Tokyo Babel. Mine was a particularly long life, but it certainly was fulfilling. I couldn't say I had no regrets. Definitely harbored one or two, but it's mostly joy that filled my heart now. Elation that made my body tremble. I split the serpent monster in two, pierced the heart of a scorpion man. Blood and all sorts of other offending fluids rained down on my skin. A were-like monstrosity and lion beast fell victim to my sword necks. The fangs dug into my flesh. The claws tore my skin to shreds. Their poison violated my blood. Nonetheless, I kept my eyes fixed ahead.
I spent so much time on making these boys, but he's cutting through them like weeds. Might as well lay out the red carpet for him instead. Onwards and onwards, just onwards. Keep going. Well, come on then. Stand proud before me, brandishing your mighty sword as your valiant howl fills the air. Be a true champion. Extinguish my life. You're the only one capable of putting a period at the end of this tale.
My breathing grew so rough, I had a hard time telling if I was exhaling or inhaling anymore. Nonetheless, I continued my carnage, howling like a wild beast, every one life after another. And finally, I glimpsed the end of my path. Ha! I exhaled, forced my limp feet forward. Not a single beast was left there to chase me. I slayed every last one of those monstrosities. Only some of their severed body parts still wiggled on the floor, refusing to pass on. I'd already achieved my goal. I found my way back to Lilith. I found my way back to a place where she killed me. The very edge of hell, a place beyond which lay the end of everything. Lilith, you're here, aren't you?
Here I am. Can you come a little bit closer?
She answered my call in a nonchalant tone. The same voice, the same demeanor. I sensed the warmth of her past days in her bearing. It made it all the more harder in my heart. I took a step forward. The crimson ground squelched under my feet as if it was made of flesh. Disgusting sensation tempted me to burn the short hull of this vile scenery, to banish it back to the nether. A 3-throw cardia hardly had enough power to pull that much off. My mind wandered for a second. I soon discarded all superfluous thoughts. I looked straight ahead, when I was standing face to face with the girl on the throne.
Long time no see.
Peaceful tone. I shook my head, denying her words. Not much real time has passed since we parted ways. Not even a day.
It's been a long time nonetheless. Or should I say, nice to meet you instead.
No. First time was fitting enough.
Oh? What about Samael?
She's here. I pressed my fist against my heart. Liv looked the other way, seemingly a little upset.
Oh, whatever. Guess I should be grateful to her just the same. Anyway, Setsuna, you certainly found your way back to me. But what do you hope to achieve now that you're here?
Well, for starters, I'd like to know your plan, or rather, the plan of the Empress of Dragons that made your bodies abode. Lilith blinked her eyes a couple of times.
Oh, you actually figured it out?
Anyone can make an educated guess if it's seen the men and demons here spawned. Tiamat. That's her name, isn't it? Sudden silence. Then Lilith's lip curled to a smile of blood crimson.
Indeed. My new name is Tiamat Lilith, a miserable being that hated and was envious of the world so much she forgot what made her to be so.
Miserable being? I don't think pitiful beings just go around destroying worlds.
Oh, but she is pitiful. Her very goal makes no sense. She wants to destroy the world so she can rule it again. What do you call that, if not a fatal contradiction?
Are you planning to restart everything from zero here?
This future disconnected. This world cannot move forward ever again. Indeed, I should have tried to invade the future instead of lingering here.
So why didn't you?
That's a silly question. There were things I couldn't force myself to leave behind. After all, even though for a short while, I was the god of this world.
Don't you mean devil?
I wonder. I rewarded those that showed me respect and punished those that defied me. It wasn't all that different from your new god. Yeah, guess that's what made me sympathize with her from the start. I fled from God while she was ruined by him.
Not feeling like abandoning her?
I'm not. Raison d'etre of our miserable Tiamat is fear. And it will not wane until every single thing in this world is destroyed.
Destroyed? Not subjugated?
Nope. I mean, Tiamat is terrified of humans. There is no other being in the world she is more afraid of.
Neither subjugation nor hatred. The raison d'etre certainly wasn't prepared here in this place. But what do you mean?
I mean, it was humans that gave birth to that god. Omnipotent and all-knowing, humans themselves made him to fulfill their miracles.
me?
No, Lilith, continue.
Right. God made heaven and the earth. He made the seas. He made men.
What do you mean humans made God? The ridiculous notion there would be. Really consider the empty space behind me with a look of mixed sadness and exasperation.
I can't blame you for finding it hard to believe. You should know that your God is omnipotent. Shackles of time don't bind him.
It has been some time since a peculiar kind of doubt arose in my heart. Unpertaining to God's birth, impotence, and injustice. In this very moment, it seemed like I finally figured it out. Indeed, the issue here was time. The past, the present, and the future. It was as if God existed from before the beginning of time, eventually creating mankind. It was mankind that made him, and sent him to the past instead. After all, he was omnipotent, reversal causality, if you will. He didn't create the world because he was God. He created the world because he was designed for that role. They made the world that had already been there into his creation. That was the only way of making him truly omnipotent. Indeed, that God was artificially made as an answer to the hopes and dreams of mankind, a construct of blind obsession and faith that would be responsible for all creation.
The power of God is just the undiluted hope of mankind. So potent, it plunged us from the divine to the demonic.
And it was. It was, in the end, a flock of nameless humans that brought upon a fall of Tiamat, the most ancient and absolute of both gods and demon lords.
So you see, Tiamat is terrified, detests humans from the bottom of her heart. He's not thinking about ruling over anything. He just wants them to go away.
Fear. A demon lord that rivaled the one true god in power, trembled in fear of mankind. Still, I could laugh the notion off as ridiculous. For I too understand the weight, destructive power mankind could harbor in the form of hope. I couldn't laugh, but only nod.
Now you're the only human left. Your death shall finally grant me the peace I crave. That's why I wish for you to go with the rest of them to the future. Why the hell did you have to stay?
Did you have to keep on existing on this plane? I met a question with a calm, nonchalant answer. I came to see you. I was gonna figure out the rest once I've heard you out.
Foolish. So foolish.
You say it's still beasts running away in ignorance. But pointed a finger at me with that humorless face.
Dang.
I jumped diagonally right. How about you cut that one out? You're only omnipotent enough without these tricks, you know? Face froze.
No way. You saw through it?
How many times do you think you had sent me out with it? I'd be a fool not to figure it out after all that. Then the word modification. Well, imagine the most distinguished demon lords could manage that to an extent. But she did it without chanting any spells or made any particularly ardent wishes. Changing reality for her was as simple and dull as throwing a rock at someone. She didn't need to wave her fingers to make sounds. The hand pistol was only there to give me a chance. But she went all out, having my head ripped off before realizing what was going on. No. That was too much for useless hassle. She could erase my existence right here and then. She could crush me with air pressure. She could destroy my mind with a single thought. She had means of planning to end my life right away. Such was the solemn truth of my situation. You have enough power to crush this world with a single thought. I doubt I would have time to attack you if I tried. I was hoping to at least land one hit on you, but I don't see how futile that would be. She allowed a sardonic chuckle at my words, much to my expectations.
Oh, you actually think you could do something about me if I only let you come closer and hit me once?
No, I don't. You're invincible. A being of peerless strength. I had no way of defeating you. girl that carried the name of Tiamat gave a sad smile.
Correct. Not even your raison d'etre, the condemnation of injustice, would harm me.
What's the point of condemning injustice of that magnitude? She was God, the absolute ruler of this universe. Defying her meant defying the very world. It was natural for the world to be unjust, hence my raison d'etre was no match for her.
What can we do? I'm currently the very god of this world. Singular, omnipotent.
The queen of the destroyed world addressed me in a wishful tone. She declared that the world was hers, that she couldn't help it. Still, not even her stark words could hide the emptiness that lurked behind them. Who could blame her? The sword was at its end. What meaning was there to lording over a field of rubble? My opponent's a very constant and omnipotent god who could grant any wish, regardless how unjust, unfair, or nonsensical it seemed. How could I possibly surpass that? Was I powerless before a being such as her? Indeed, I couldn't defeat a god. Did I have no choice but to give up? No, I would not fail, no matter what. Lilith, the outcome of our battle has already been decided by the time you confirmed who you were. Indeed, humans place their hopes on gods. Have you forgotten who I was? I am a man that ran away after failing to become a god. My memories, my very soul brimming with the hatred of billions. I fled. I fled wanting to become a god, despite being unable to live as a human. I was overwhelmed and fled. But I just ran away. The hopes turned into hatred, continued to torture me. Duck.
Please save us.
I just ran away. Everyone.
Please save
Please
us.
save us.
Please save us.
Save us.
Please save us. Please save us.
They were calling out to me, singing, crying with joy like a chorus, wailing in sorrow like a chorus, roaring with malice like a chorus. Activate raison d'etre, as a rebellion against injustice shall summon the hatred and hopes that have been weighing upon my shoulders since that accursed day. 10 billion dreams, 10 billion ambitions, 10 billion hopes, 10 billion grudges, 10 billion curses, 10 billion lamentations. An almost infinite amount of data from beyond the world. 10 billion ethereal beings made of ones and zeros answer my call. Countless hands, some white, some black, emerge from the space behind my back.
What the hell is this?
Astonishment appeared on Lilith's face for the first time since she merged with the dragon goddess. She opened her eyes wide, shivering from fear. Take them in, Tiamat. If you're indeed a god, then you should be able to assimilate them all. Do not look the other way. Tiamat Lilith was indeed the very manifestation of hope the 10 billion souls possessing me desired. An army clinging, begging for miracles and salvation. Even for a god, taking them all in must have been the greatest of torments. Hear me, O hopes of billions. Unite all your tiny raison d'etres and paint this world anew as you seek out your god. Cling to your deity, prostrate, and venerate, revere it, consume it alive.
No. No!
10 billion prayers assaulted Tiamat all at once. To hate a few thousand years that Tiamat harbored proved barely a pebble in the way of the hopes of 10 billion. Their cries are incomprehensible cacophony, just a mash of countless sounds resonating and killing each other. Lilith, this is my solution to our battle, the last trump card. Poured everything I had into this, even the parts of myself that I despised. That was it for trying to keep appearances. I sacrificed those I swore to bear on my shoulders for my own means. just so he could cast Tiamat into the depths of despair. Such shamelessness, such depravity, such villainy. And yet, despite it all, I still wish for you to come back. I want to be happy, and I can't do that without you. Smiling, I extended my hand towards her. I understood how selfish and pig-headed I was. Come over here, Lilith. Next moment, Tiamat Lilith's mind split in two. Lilith jumped forward. Tiamat fled back.
Setsuna!
Exactly opposite to how we first met. I gave her my hand, and she reached out. Our fingers touched, and I embraced her. An overwhelming sense of relief overcame me. I felt as if I might collapse. Tiamat, these are all for you to bear. 10 billion grudges overwhelm the hatred of their god. 10 billion hopes overwhelm the aspiration of their deity. Everyone join in.
Save us.
Save us.
Save us.
Save
Save
us.
us.
Save us.
Save us.
This was no good. She could not save them all. There were too many. Despair now seemed so light and pleasing compared to the weight of 10 billion hopes. She felt herself sink into the ocean of wishes. Countless hands extended towards her. Infants, children, boys and girls, men and women, the young and the old. 10 billion people drowned in a new god in their overwhelming hopes. Lilith. Her voice was but a faint sigh. Majority of powers most likely remained with Tiamat. I'm going to kill Tiamat now. Any objections? Lilith gave me a sad smile.
For a moment shorter than the blink of an eye, she saw a dream where she was at the center of the world, venerated as the greatest.
She nodded.
And her. Only you, the last human of this world, have the right.
Roger. I'll put an end to everything. With nothing but resolve and compassion in my heart, I took a step towards the ancient being that guided the whole world towards destruction. Tiamat, sinking into the sea of dead wishes, caught a glimpse of me. Or so I thought. I silently raised my hand. In that moment, the weapon that aimlessly wandered the world finally found a place to return to. It traversed the whole world, from the first to the 7 stratoms of Tokyo Babel, from the first to the 7 stratoms of this underwater alternative. It traversed heaven and hell, in Coxitus, the very depths of the world. It had but a single goal, to find someone to wield it, fulfill its mission. To annihilate the past, a weapon that was forged to do away with everything but the future. The greatest of angels poured his very soul into fashioning this blade. His approach might have been cruel, yet his dream was just. The Harbinger of Ash, the weapon that was designed to slay God itself, now rested in my hands. I faced her. There were no more words for us to exchange. I silently brandished my sword, let it fall, splitting the goddess in half. I sliced through her with minimal motion, with a fast, powerful strike. Tiamat began to disintegrate.
Setsuna, let me have one last word with her.
With her face the melting remains of the goddess.
Pathetic. How pitiful and foolish. Understanding full well the terrifying nature of mankind. You completely forgot the essence of the man before you. Didn't you have enough already, Tiamat? Your wish came true, more so than you should have ever hoped for. You slayed God and took his place. Destroyed countless humans. This is a fitting end for you, the kind you yourself desired. Drown here, under the weight of 10 billion hopes and grudges.
She gave herself a nod, her voice laden with rejection.
If you still wish to retain your dignity as a god, you should embrace all 10 billion of those hopes. No one will be saved here otherwise. You're the only one who can do it, Tiamat.
I don't know how much the dragon goddess interpreted Lilith's words. Could no longer hear the incomprehensible noise of the dead. They melted into each other, disappearing into the light. Tiamat might have made a new world someday, which might give in and suffer for an eternity instead. But that was an outcome far beyond the reaches of our knowledge. I decided not to pay it any more thought. Lilith gazed absentmindedly at the empty space where Tiamat had disappeared. An odd tint of sadness colored her face. As she turned around to look me in the eye, the countenance had already returned back to her usual self. A wild cat's grin.
I can't believe you went through all that just to save me.
I thought you had predicted that much from the get-go.
I thought you'd give up.
Indeed. If I did so and traveled to the future by myself, I might have found some true salvation instead. There might have been another conclusion to her tale, where, after having given it up, I chose to slay her in the end.
I planned to destroy, rule, and then save the world so everyone could revere me as a heroic maiden.
She chuckled to herself. I see. Well, sorry for ruining your grand ambition.
I also hoped to save one guy that I kind of cared about. But you messed everything up, Setsuna. I'm a complete mess now.
She rubbed her eyes. I was about to lend her my handkerchief, but she turned away from me, like a twister.
Don't mind me. I just got something in my eye.
Couldn't come with a more original excuse.
Leave me alone, dunce. Anyway, do you, have a plan for what to do from now on?
From now on? I haven't thought about that at all. I saved you and I saved the world. I achieved my goal.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I haven't given much thought to what would come after all this either. All I can say is that, well, the end is near.
I suppose it is. I could feel the world tremble under my feet. It was no earthquake. The world itself was falling apart. I feel its cry resonating within my very soul.
Setsuna,
Yeah?
let's go on a date.
I blinked at her a few times, completely caught off guard. Date?
I'd kinda might as well have one before the end of the world.
But I tried to come with an argument and realized I had none. But they considered me with timid eyes from below.
You don't wanna?
I let out a sigh. No man in the world possessing a will strong enough to refuse a face like that. Let's go on a date, Lilith. Though I'm not sure how good the River of Wailing is for a dating spot. I gave her my hand. She hesitantly squeezed it back, slightly genuinely bashful for the first time in her life.
It's firmer than I thought.
Your hand is soft.
Thanks.
The innocence of this childlike smile. There's not a hint of anxiety visible in her countenance, despite the impending apocalypse. But with myself, oddly enough, I didn't seem to feel fear either. I did everything I could and achieved everything I wanted. Satisfaction must have made my heart numb to other emotions. Or had I given up? Still, I was glad I could relax instead of spending my last moments in a panic. We joined our hands, proceeded out onwards. I hear a rumble in the distance, the wailing of the very earth.
Where are we going?
Anywhere you want to go?
Anywhere you want to.
I guess we could try taking a look at a second stratum. There's one place there that I want to check. Let's go to the hospital in second stratum.
Ah, you want to see my other selves again.
Yeah, I thought it would be nice to meet them one last time. Lilith had trouble flying, so I held her in my arms instead. It seemed like she lost most of her powers together with Tiamat.
Well, I guess it was all for the better. Now I can cling to you like this in exchange.
She smiled and leaned against me, closing her eyes.
I wonder what Sorami would say if she saw us like this.
I didn't want to imagine. We passed through Ginza, got to Tsukiji, where the hospital was, directly through the hole in the sky.
Huh?
Huh? Returned to the hospital overlooking for them, but found no one. Exchanging disappointed glances, we eventually had to give up and leave the building empty-handed.
I wonder if they followed after Sorami or something.
I wish that was the case.
I'd want for at least one or two of myself to survive, right?
Indeed. Wish for them to live.
Anyway, what should we do next?
Spent some time in thought about realizing my scenery I'd like to see at my last. Let's go to the sea. The world shuffled through its final moments. The ephemeral sense of impending doom made it seem all the more beautiful. The vast sea illuminated in twilight's serene orange stretched beyond the horizon. Nothing else as far as the eye could see. A lonely yet majestic sight. Only our two shadows lingered on the surface of the water. The end was nigh. We'll likely let out our last breaths here.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. Lilith tilted her head down a bit. A tint of sadness in her eyes.
Couldn't protect it.
You did. Maybe not this world, but it's only protected the other.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
She glanced up into the sky, reached out to nothingness beyond, to a world beyond her reach. Eventually, she gave up, turned back to me.
Just like you, I couldn't find value in my own existence. After all, I was just a hologram, a copy of someone else. I thought my life was just there to serve the needs of another.
Lilith whispered the words to me, revealing her innermost thoughts. See,
That's how I found you, I think. You were just like me. You hoped to have your life sacrificed for the sake of another.
she could say that her wishes came true. No, not really.
What if my wish came true, and so did yours? We also wished for each other to survive. Doesn't look like that's gonna come true at this point, though.
Yeah, I wish for you to live. I didn't mind putting my life on the line if it meant protecting yours.
Yeah, I hoped for you to live. Thought I might as well sacrifice my life for you to survive.
A tear trickled down Lilith's cheek as she smiled.
I appreciate the irony. We only wanted the best for each other. That obsession ultimately left us with the worst possible outcome.
I wouldn't call it the worst. I got the chance to meet my end with you at my side. It's a fairly good finale, as far as I'm concerned.
Thanks.
Lilith turned away from me, slightly flushed. She firmly squeezed my hand back at the same time. Well then, let's bear witness to the end of the world. See the final spark in the universe be extinguished. Oh, Lilith, maybe?
No, you didn't do such a thing. Huh?
Most of us glanced around our surroundings in confusion, looking for the owner of the voice. Huh?
Ah!
Lilith glared at us with a discontented face. Wait, she wasn't alone.
Huh? Me?
Multiple Liliths surrounding us. Seems like all the Liliths from the hospital were here. The elegant motherly Lilith hovered in the center of them all. She placed her hand on the head of the little Lilith, and considered us with gentle eyes.
Thank you, Lilith. It seems you really saved the world. Uh, yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. Technically, so we thought that we cannot let you, our savior, and your beloved perish in a place like this.
Words left us thoroughly surprised.
What? We might have lost our powers, but we can still use ourselves as the dots to connect the pentagram. Alone we are weak. Together, we may give birth to a miracle. We might be able to transport you two to the future.
Lilith let out a deep sigh.
Is that what you came here for? It's impossible. The future has been dislodged from this world. No matter how many of yourselves you sacrifice, you can't jump to a universe that's no longer entangled. Yes, under normal circumstances, that would be the case. However, Mr. Setsuna,
Huh? Me?
you were together with her whom people called Kugutsu Sorami, were you not? You have witnessed the miracles of Gethel's eyes firsthand many a time.
Are you telling me to replicate that?
I believe you can do it. After all, don't you feel your fate unjust? You two have a right to live.
Did we really?
Mr. Setsuna, you should know that it is far more fascinating for us to see you survive and continue your story than simply perish.
The little Lilith nodded. Fascinating. Huh.
Yes, you two are very interesting individuals. In fact, we are of the opinion that the future would not be half as interesting without you.
Alright. Lilith startled and faced us.
Wait, just you wait a second. What about you? Doesn't sound like you're planning to survive yourselves. Well, that we can do nothing about, I suppose.
She answered in a placid tone. Irritated, Lilith pulled her hand out of mine and shook her copy by the shoulders.
What do you mean? You can do nothing about it. There is no reason for you to sacrifice yourselves. You're just the same Lilith as I am. So, I mean...
The little Lilith suddenly climbed up on the sickly Lilith's shoulders and slapped Lilith on the cheek. He then considered her with a sullen face.
She's telling you not to let it get to your head.
The little girl let out a chuckle. Astonished, Lilith covered her cheek with her hand. Her shoulders quivered, with tears welling up in her eyes.
Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure you want for me to be alone to survive?
Sickly Lilith embraced Lilith's shoulders.
It's all right. We came to this decision together. All Liliths agreed to do this for your sake.
They all decided to sacrifice their very existence for their chosen one.
I'm sorry. So sorry. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
The little Lilith suddenly pressed her lips against Lilith's forehead. Prime meant as a gesture to stop her from crying.
Well then, everyone, let us sing now of the twilight of this world, as well as the dawn of the new one.
So began the final song of the world. The voices spilled forth, permeated the heavens, seas, and all else that remained of the dying world. A song beautiful as a burning star. Was it a requiem? Or a hymn to bless the future? Most likely neither. The song was hope itself having taken physical form. Not hope for the betterment of yourself, but a selfless verse hoping for the good of another. Tendo Setsuna, before you lay a miracle in front of you, the essence of love itself. An affection that seemed different from those of family or lovers, an ephemeral thought that denied the scope of our language. The miracle took the shape of a whirlpool that accumulated in my palms. This would be the last of my powers. Did it? My eyes turned to those of Gethel, or rather, I reshaped my own to resemble what I'd known of hers. Still, they seemed to function to a certain extent, at least for now.
appears you did it. And I suppose it is time we provided you with the stairs that would connect to the world beyond.
The bodies of the Lilith singing the song melted into the shape of light, connected, merged with each other to form divine steps.
Sis,
Jacob's ladder. Jacob's ladder, stair leading to heaven, appeared before our very eyes.
run along now. Don't be shy. I will not forgive you two if you run out of time now.
Liz and I joined hands after exchanging a look. We nodded and began our ascent.
Good luck on your way, Mr. Setsuna. And please do look out for Lilith.
Forced back my tears. I cried my final words of gratitude. True chords of hope reverberated across the skies. At the same time, the tremors in the world grew stronger and stronger. It was faster to run than to fly, so we, fighting against the lack of oxygen, bolted up the steps on foot. Up and up, ever onwards, to grasp and find a way to the future, without ever looking back. I didn't have time to have a look at Lilith's face, but the warmth that I could feel through our joined hands was more than enough to assure me that she was alive. Our breathing uneven, melting with the thunderous clamoring of our hearts. We would have loved nothing more than to stop and rest for a while. We passed through Liliths that had turning to light. I wish I could tell them something. I forced my mouth shut. I grabbed my teeth, pushed onwards. I heard a terrifying blast of thunder. No, that was the sound of the world splitting apart. Hurry, hurry, hurry! Run! Flee from impending doom! I could hear the world collapse behind us, following Jacob's ladder. If we didn't hurry, our very path would crumble. We'd end up perishing alongside the world. I thought alone maybe I'd fall to my knees. However, feeling Lilith squeeze my hand and maybe regain my sense very next second. You must be kidding me. We came all this way. And I accelerated further. Casting aside my fears of falling, I vaulted through the stairs upward. There's no room for calculation. My head was in the throes of panic by this point. I didn't relinquish my anxiety and terror as I scrambled up the steps. I've come too far to give up now.
Greed!
I screamed. Sensation transcending mere courage filled my heart. And so, we ran, we fled, we tore through the steps. It's right over there! We rushed into heaven without slowing our steps. We could see the door to the future in the distance. The path behind it already collapsed, nothing but complete destruction in its wake. Did we make it? We had to. Please, let us make it! So, the last fragment of hope from Earth invaded heaven. The manifestation of the last of its powers, taking the shape of light, split the doors to the future asunder. Liz and I continued our dash. Go! We jump, sliding through the doors right as it fell shut again with a tremendous explosion. The storm raged inside. We stood in space between the present and the future. Now the path to the present had been closed, and no choice but to continue towards the future. However, Lilith, don't let go of my hand!
I know!
The problem was that we didn't know exactly where we should have been going. The possibility remained that I would end up in the future 1 year from now, where Lilith would find herself 100 years later. Hoping for not, we'd end up in different times from each other. However, swept around like leaves in a storm, we had no strength left to resist the savage twister of fate we found ourselves in. The direction of wind suddenly changed. The temple force pulled on our joined hands. I might as well dislocate my shoulder. Lilith!
Oh no!
Like in a nightmare, her hand slipped from mine. And just away. Just like that. Lilith, give me your hand! No, wait. God damn it! Wait! Already come all its way! Lilith! 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 She drifted farther and farther into the distance. Like leaves inside a storm. could do nothing to resist the clutches of the raging tempest surrounding us. Sorrow warped Lilith's face for a second, but she soon made a resigned smile and waved me goodbye.
Farewell.
We drifted apart. She vanished from sight in mere moments. I came and chased after her. All I could do was watch. Caught in the raging currents of the deep seas, unable to resist, I plunged further and further downward, my consciousness hanging on the merest thread, and soon swallowed by the impenetrable darkness. God damn it! I think I lost consciousness back then. The light blinked and vanished. My body reassembled. My soul fit into another vessel. And so, I found my way to a new world. I emerged into what seemed like a yellow beach under a boundless sky. In other words, everything had come to an end. Damn! I couldn't hold on to her. I failed the very last step. I glanced at my hand and realized I'd shrunk in size. I apparently had to restart my life from more or less zero here. Memories turned into mere records, so I could feel my vehement emotions wane. I swore to never forget. No matter how many years pass, I would keep the memory of her fresh in my mind. I'd restart my whole life, no matter how more than enough time. I would meet her again. I engraved a promise upon my heart. Went on with no choice but to continue this life. In a land that might have been called Tokyo. Many years passed, the notion of the future being full of hopes and dreams had become a thing of the past. Like always, mankind had struggled to survive. Well, a few things might have changed. For one, there was no stagnation in this world. Everyone always pushed forward no matter what. Phenomenon to celebrate, indeed. The girl stopped before my eyes. We're in a somewhat run-down cafe of all the others I tried were full, so I had to make do with this one. The girl considered me for a moment before placing her coffee cup on the table.
Tell me, how could you find your way here now that you've lost your powers, memories, and even emotions?
Hell, I didn't know what I'd answer. It was part of a reason I lived for. I felt I had to meet that person, that nothing would start unless I did. I could attach no face or name to that someone, but I knew she was very dear to me. This one individual I lost somewhere in the multitude of parallel worlds. I felt like I had to meet that person no matter what, that nothing could start before I did. I was most likely born for the sole purpose of meeting that person. As I told her that, the girl made a broad smile and clasped my hand.
Yeah? That's a good reason to live, I think. At least it's definitely how you should live.
It's the first time anyone had wholeheartedly agreed with me on that. Made me a little happy, honestly. She continued as if talking to herself. The gaze grew distant, seemingly reminiscing about the past.
I've been looking for you ever since you were born. I've struggled with the urge to help you countless times. Because if I had, it would have been likely a defilement of your deeds.
Probably would have. It didn't seem too fun to be reunited through someone else's will. The girl chuckled my words.
If you could remember us after you meet her, feel free to call anytime. We'll be waiting.
I wasn't sure what she meant, but her remark filled my heart with happiness.
And if that happens, let's hang out again, all four of us.
With that, I placed a little note on the table and stood up.
Go to the place written on this. She'll be waiting for you there.
I picked the note up, and the name of the country and the address on it. Something akin to revelation rushed to my mind. That person was there, this very moment. I stood up and pondering the best way to travel to that far-off land, began to walk. A surge of expectation stirred within my chest. anxiety bubbling forth in its wake. Someone I had yet to meet, with love in the bottom of my heart. I wonder how she would react once she saw me. Disappointment, fear, disgust, rejection. I prayed it wasn't any of those. My journey was almost at its end. I turned the whole world upside down in search of her. But now, it seemed I finally reached the conclusion I craved. The deep blue sky and the peaceful white clouds. The weather was fine yesterday, would today be more of the same, so hopefully this trend will continue tomorrow. I feel my feet sink in the sand as I stroll through the yellow beach. I spot an old radio lying in the sand, probably someone's trash. I wish to tell them not to litter on the beach, but a black radio half buried in the sand was such a surreal sight, and I feel like picking it up from there. I could hear bits and pieces of a news program from the radio, something about the recent discovery of leaping to parallel worlds. Apparently, alternate worlds existed physically, and passing through the space separating them allowed one to visit entirely new realities. Is that something we humans have the right to tamper with, though? Various scientists, religious leaders, and philosophers seem to be in the middle of a heated discussion this very moment. But the radio switched to other news, etc., etc., etc. The world was now living in was a peaceful one. At least no one here thought they need a god to cling to in order to survive the daily struggles. Of course, it has a fair share of inexplicable phenomenons, injustices, and unfair developments. Well, that was how the world was. Must have ever relent to injustice, a lot of cruelty of fate to toy with us. Some ground their teeth and bore through the hurdles, others passed through them aloof. But all men lived as men, nothing more, nothing less. Lilith?
Why are you alive?
The question plagued me ever since I'd been born. Sometimes I thought I was here to achieve something great, to do something significant in the world, to demand something momentous of fate. I tried asking my little sister for her opinion, but she laughed it off as an identity crisis, and I'd agree with her. There's no special reason for me to be alive. I wished to be so, and so I was. And was that enough? Most people in this world didn't waste thought on such silly things. They're too busy living in the present, aiming for the future and reminiscing of the past. No one cared about a reason to be alive. Still, I sometimes pondered, I was living for something special. I need to deny death for that very reason. For something special. For someone special. Indeed, I struggled through this world to meet someone special. I had a sort of premonition that I didn't need to look for her. We would still meet, that if I stayed in place, she would come for me herself. And so, I concentrated on staying alive. That wasn't as simple as I initially thought. I had to do my best and busy myself for most of my life just to make ends meet. Still, I lived and reminisced about my mystifying goal. Each time I remembered it, I'd be emboldened with power to keep on living. As I soaked my feet in the vast sea, a memory vague as mist revived in my mind. A shadow of a girl whose name I'd yet to remember.
Well, come over here. I shall. Use you till you're broken beyond repair. I'll use you as the most treasured and lovely thing I've ever had. Till death do us part.
You could hear someone step on the sand through the rumbles of the waves. It was my sister. She certainly was the one to sneak up on me and hug me with no prior warning, but this time, the present person behind me was very much different. Somewhat nostalgic. Somewhat humbling. My feet carried me towards the sea. I didn't know why, but I felt like I would remember something important. Oh, come on, go ahead.
My feet carried me towards the sea. I didn't know why, but I felt like I would remember something important if I went in deeper. Anxiety gripped my heart. Expectation quickened my step. The entire world consisted of yellow and blue, nothing more. It was there. Life. In retrospect, everyone made fun of me for this. boy that was waiting for me beyond the dream. I ended up jumping to another world, hoping to meet him. Making use of science and divine power alike, in order to look for him, in order to meet him again. Spreading my wings, I traversed the worlds. Finally, I met that strange girl in a cafe who told me everything about this place, about his existence. I took a slow step forward. A single sun ray momentarily blinded my eyes. Next moment, a young man appeared before me, as if through magic. I swore not to cry. Tears trickled down my cheeks so naturally, one after another, like a stream. My anxiety waned with every step I took, giving way to a peculiar sense of trust. He likely remembered me, and if he didn't, then he would soon. My voice, that I thought would be trembling and hoarse, spilled forth so seemingly, even I found myself astonished. Hello. Still me?
I think?
Nostalgic voice I must have been hearing for the first time.
Huh.
Memories erupted. Is it me?
I think so.
Okay. The memories erupted, coloring my mind the hue it once was. I understood everything now. Comprehended it all. So you came to meet me after all.
Oh, I'm unable to give up, clinging to vague remnants of her memories, to struggle through countless worlds, jumping from one another. I wasn't able to go that far. I had my hands full of living my everyday life, and my hands full of trying not to forget. Damn. I'm pathetic and embarrassed beyond words, unable to turn and look her in the eye out of shame. Then, a single memory suddenly lit up in my mind.
Edith, you're about to face something dear to you. Feel no shame when that time comes. For we all know how earnestly you've lived your life. So do not hesitate. Share your joy with the same elation that makes your heart dance. That's what we all wish for.
The mysterious girl that appeared before me when I was still a child. I finally remember her name. No wonder I thought her expression painful at the time. She was about to cry when she forced that smile. I sighed. Did Raziel predict his future? I would love to inquire further, but I could see her playing the fool. Seeing it didn't bear well for one's health to know too much about the future. It's a lot more fun to be surprised. There would probably be the real reason behind her unwillingness to talk. The girl who was still faced from the back addressed me again. The same words of hope was directed at myself. Yeah, I am.
Remember our promise?
I do. We promised to find meaning to our lives of each other, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. So, what are you living for?
What's I living for? To have fun? To fight? To laugh? To feel sorrow? To walk towards? To live? All those were correct. All those were undeniable truths. However, today, right now, there's about one thing I lived for. I live to meet you. I turn around to see a girl smiling through her tears.
We're of the same mind. I too live to meet you. I'm back. Setsuna.
It's most likely trying to smile through tears just the same. Welcome home, Lilith.
「口ぶりで言われるのもなんだかね嬉しくなってきたよ」「きっと僕のことなんて君にとって簡単で見抜いてくれてるんだって」「最終の電車に逃したような気持ちじゃ君のこと笑わせるなんてできないはずだよ」「どうしたって君と行くんだ僕は空を待ってる言葉捕まえて今形づけたなら」「スーパーセルの夢じゃないむくむくそびえ立ってくんだよ」「僕はグローマー君はブルーミー」「遠慮しないで抱き合って二人天国までたどり着いていつも通り君とグルービー初めて星を触ってみた震える手で声が生まれたああ君の呼ぶ声が上昇する雲掴んで君で胸いっぱいにしてくんだ揺れるワンピース甘いフラグランスどんなスタイルで乗ったって君と天国までたどり着いてうねるグルービー君とグルービー重ねて
Let us begin anew, then, that mundane story of you, me, and all our beloved friends. Yes. I consider her question ridiculous. It was impossible for someone like myself to harbor those kinds of emotions. Really, did why did her death affect me so? I was unable to give up. I was sent back to hell in the off chance I could bring her back. Was it because she saved me in the past? That could have been the sole reason. In that case, I would have prioritized her original orders and went on with the pilgrimage. I wish to see her again. Not the original, or not a copy. I wish to see the one and only Lilith I knew. I couldn't help wanting to meet the girl with whom I exchanged that promise on the roof again. Sorami,
Yeah?
I can't help but praise Lilith's still alive. Can't help but wish to see her again. And for that, I'm ready to throw my life away.
That's pretty amazing.
You think I should assume these feelings are love?
If that's not love, then what is? Jeez.
Sorami smiled. I couldn't help but add an excuse. I've never looked at anyone like that before. It was strictly forbidden for myself, as a god, to harbor special feelings towards individuals. It's one of the cardinal rules I had to follow to become a legitimate deity.
Everyone sees women as a god, huh? But you aren't a god, Setsuna. You're just a man.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just a man. Sorami gave me an encouraging smile and a vigorous nod.
You're a man. And so it's perfectly natural for you to fall in love.
Indeed. I felt like the weight of my heart has eased up. Seems I'm in love with Lilith. My cheeks twitched. It took me finally voicing these words to realize how embarrassing they were. Sorami considered my face silently for a few seconds, then opened her own mouth.
I love you, Setsuna.
Eh? Sorami chuckled at my awestruck face.
Oh, yeah. It's embarrassing to actually say it out loud, huh? You don't need to worry about it. It's just that, we probably won't be seeing each other for a while come tomorrow, so I kinda thought it's as good as a chance as any to tell you how I feel and all.
Sorami looked away from me, again playing with her hair.
This sure is embarrassing. And I think this is my first confession, too. Can't guarantee that stuff being an amnesiac and all, as you know. I didn't mean it in the way of, let's date or something. I just had this thing inside my heart and I didn't want to keep it hidden within forever. Sorry. I feel like I just made you go along with my vanity.
She proceeded to get depressed at a swiftly accelerating speed. Wait. I'm really happy you feel that way about me. Thank you. She let out a sigh of relief. But I'm sorry. Can I ask something of you? What on earth did you find to possibly like about me?
That's sure a tough question. I mean, you're gentle, right?
Gentle? I cocked my head.
And then your face, it's very attractive.
That was hardly my accomplishment. My face design must have been quite adept. And that's how it was made, I guess.
But that's not important. I think I would have fallen for you even if your face was like that of an orc or troll.
That was certainly a pretty depressing comparison. Why? Sorami probably stuck her chest out.
That's something I'd like to ask myself. I just felt like being with you. Depending on you. I think that's love. Don't you?
When you ask me, I still have a hard time understanding these things.
Also, thanks for saving my life. I think that was one of the main reasons I ended up falling for you.
That was I just did the obvious thing.
It's far from obvious. Not many would risk their life for another.
But my motivation was nowhere near as admirable as she made it sound. I didn't care much for my own life. That was all.
Yeah. I mean, of course I know how you felt about saving me back then. But, you know, you'd still save me if I found myself in a tight spot now, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I'll do everything in the scope of my powers to save you, no matter the consequences. I needed a second to consider. That was the sole right choice, not a single doubt about it. I would not hesitate to sacrifice my life if it only meant saving hers.
And that's not because you're feeling suicidal or something, right?
Of course not. I'll save you because of my wish to. That's all.
That's why I love... Yeah. I love you. In the present tense and no plans to make it into past anytime soon. I love you, Setsuna.
Sorami let out a breath, and a embarrassed smile appeared on her face.
Jeez. I can't believe I confessed my love inside a night duty room wearing a tracksuit. Not to mention with Raziel sleeping just next to us.
I appreciate your feelings. I truly do.
But it's Lilith you love, don't you?
Yeah, and I can't help that. I love her, and so I'm setting out to find her both. To find both her and hopefully defeat the truth.
Aye. Anyway, this talk is embarrassing and gives me breathing problems, so let's leave it here, alright? Good night.
Sorami stood up, and to return the coffee cups to the kitchen, jumped and disappeared into her futon. Thanks for the coffee, Sorami. She didn't respond. I felt like I shouldn't linger in this room for a moment longer, and so I left.
Sorami?
What?
It's advised to brush one's teeth after drinking coffee.
I'll brush them tomorrow.
I recommend you wash your face as well. It's not healthy to sleep with dried tears in your skin. I'll keep you company.
Yeah.
You did your best. I'm not an angel of love like Hanael. So I can't bless you, but...
It's alright. I was turned down anyway.
Bless you, Sorami. You're a great woman. One that's more than worthy of respect.
Thank you, Raziel. I'm gonna wash my face.
Don't forget to brush your teeth.
I know. I knew.
reaching out. I managed to catch it. However, the hand alone was far from enough. We would last long this tempest. Without letting go Lilith, I pulled her into my embrace. Just sit tight.
Hey.
Lilith gave me a nod, pressed her head against my chest. I vowed to never let her go. We're long past worrying about what the future had in store for us. We only ever pressed onwards, fighting and beating everyone that stood in our path, no matter how incredible a being they were. There's nothing left for me to be afraid of, short of losing her. The tempest of fate and time is so ferocious, I felt like it would split us apart if I so much as relaxed my strength a little. So, I held even tighter in my embrace. The feeling of warmth through our clothes. We whispered our names to each other's ears, and plundered into the darkness below. Still, the tempest count was beyond overwhelming. I was about to lose consciousness, thinking that to be my end. I recalled the first time we met. Memories past that point were like a never-ending salvo of fireworks. We drifted apart soon after our encounter, only to meet again, this time, to fight. Hardly a month's worth of time, yet it felt denser than the rest of my life combined. Still, that wasn't enough. It was far from enough to satisfy me. I only wished to be with her. I wished to be with the feel at my side. So this stupid wing could go fuck itself. I'm not letting you go. You can rage all you want. I'm not letting girl go of her. I held her even tighter, afraid I might crush her bones, but let it squeeze back, her eyes glistening with fear. So came the end. Appearing in the middle of an unknown sky, we plunged down through the air. Just like a shooting star, I thought. It was all remaining strength, but a blast of magic as we were about to hit the surface of the water. From a tempest of time, straight to the depths of the sea. As soon as we recovered from the shock of the collision, we swam upward. I poked our heads above the sea. Floating atop the calm waves, we both cast our gazes at the sky above. The deep blue, the clear canopy filled our eyes.
Did we pull through?
Seems so.
I can't believe it.
I had to agree, but reality didn't seem to care much about our opinions. I can start believing it. We both survived. Seems we managed to find a way to the future, after all.
To the future of where?
I'm afraid that's a bit too early to begin discussing. We consider the sky with blank expressions. On top of the sea, our bodies still refuse to believe this reality, refusing to care for the opinions of our minds. Something must still lurk ahead. We still have to overcome something else. Another fight awaited us, right? Overcome by such thoughts, we both waited. But no matter how long we stalled, nothing seemed to come at us. Here our struggle was finally at its end, both mine and Lilith's.
No way! Seriously? Is this the end? Is this really, totally 100% the end of everything?
Yeah, it's over. It's all finally over. Everything. As if I shot him myself. I still had trouble believing my own words. Still, no matter how much I thought, I couldn't come with a single adversary I still wouldn't need to fight. He was gazed up far into the blue sky. Seemed to laugh while we were completely out of breath.
It's over. That's enough. What should we do now? Wanna make love or something?
Seemed to be even more embarrassed by what she just said herself. Calm yourself, Lilith. Well, I can't say I'm much against your suggestion myself, but there's another problem we should probably solve first, don't you think? We looked each other in the eye, then glanced around us. The sea, azure waters, as far as the eye could see. much like the scenery outside Tokyo Babel. Boundless sea seemed to stretch far beyond the horizon.
Oh, there's nothing but a sea here. Wait, what if this world is made completely out of water or something?
In that case, we'll be stuck like this forever.
Sounds good to me. I'm gonna turn into a jellyfish and just float around without a single care in the world.
An ocean sunfish. Oh, that doesn't sound that bad, but
Well, if there's anything we have plenty of, it's time. We'll figure something out.
time, once unforgiving and adamant to chase us, was no longer on our heels. It likely take a while for it to find its way here. So, first time in my entire life. Might as well take it easy for a while.
Sure. I think we both deserve a breather or 7.
Facing each other, we place our hands around each other's cheeks. I could feel warmth through my fingertips. This is good. I think I'm gonna cry. They regard me with a gentle smile.
It's alright. Go ahead and cry to your heart's content. There's no one here but me. You know, there's also one thing I'm certain of.
One thing,
Yeah. That you won't ever need to cry again after this.
I don't remember ever crying in front of you, though.
What are you talking about, Setsuna? You were always crying inside your heart. So go ahead and bawl your eyes out. Let's laugh it all off later. Let us embrace this conclusion to our journey. This happiness.
See. You can finally cry. It nodded. No longer had to struggle to contain it. I could finally cry. When it bothered my heart. So I did. I wrapped my arms around Lilith's back, and began to weep like a little child, clinging to his mother. Not out of sadness, not out of pain. Who could blame me? The happiness I gained felt warm beyond imagination. I felt my frozen hands and heart, warming them so much I couldn't help but shed tears. Happiness. A word that was never a part of my life, yet it now danced in my heart with star certainty. Lilith, thank you.
What are you talking about? It's me who should be thanking you.
Still, I had to thank her. I had to convey my gratitude. Thanks to you, I learned something very important. I comprehended emotion, the most important of them all. I love you.
Thanks. I love you too, Setsuna.
Such few words, but they're enough to light both my body and soul in utter bliss. The solitaire reached its conclusion. I found a resting place at the end of a twisted, steep road. Looking back, the days were hectic, full of grisly cruelties and yet enchanting and lovely at the same time. Painful days, sad days, torturous days. More things happened than I could count. I met countless people and I had to say farewell to as many. I tasted despair, frustration, and defeat many a time. Nonetheless, I persevered and reached the end. Here I was now. Here where I could live however I wished. Could continue to press onwards or stop for a while. Could look back or gaze at my side. Everything was permitted to me in this realm. The possibilities laid out for me were near limitless. Tendo Setsuna. I have a decision, a choice to make. Where'd you go from now on? How would you live? A question that all men have to face at least once, when I could finally face myself. Tendo Setsuna. How will you live? Lilith inspected my face with curious eyes. How would I live? Was a silly question. I The world was at the brink of destruction. Raging flames swallowed the men that stayed behind. Buildings fell one after another. James. A child like not even 10 years old cried out in despair. His leg was stuck in a collapsed wall of concrete. Mary.
Brother? Brother!
A girl similar age was pulling the boy by the hand with all her strength. It was no use. His leg was stuck in the cavity between the ground and falling concrete. As long as it didn't raise the whole wall, it remained shackled there forever.
Run! Just leave me and go!
The girl shook her head violently, tears flying to her sides. Her parents had already perished during the calamity. Her brother was the only one she still had left. She couldn't bear the thought of leaving him here to live out the rest of her days on her own. She put all of her strength in pulling his hand. Still, she was but a little girl. Her strength, full of nod, mattered little in the face of the oppressive concrete wall. It was fate. He had to die. She felt as if some invisible being was whispering words into her ears. Still, she refused to leave her brother's side.
No. No, no, no! Someone help us! Someone help him, please!
There are no miracles in this world. The flames would swallow the 2 children, turning them to ash. A miracle would not grace them. The world was never fair. Fate handed cruel deaths to everyone, regardless of their sins or past deeds, all at random, like a lottery. So the 2 children had learned one of the universal truths of the world.
God damn it!
However, let's try bearing with it for a moment longer. The will was always there, wanted to be able to cause rain to fall or shatter mountains in order to infuse it with unimaginable powers.
Huh?
It was always there, a natural instinct to save another. There were always people who couldn't stand injustice. He chose to fight against it. The heavy concrete wall disappeared into thin air as if through magic. It's dangerous here. Can you see the road? Follow it and take you to safety. Frank narrate.
The man pointed straight in front of him. Oddly enough, a single road, completely free of the surrounding flames, stretched to the horizon.
Lilith.
My, aren't we lucky? Your leg doesn't seem to be in that bad of a shape. Still, let me cast a spell on you to commemorate our meeting.
Uttering something
Uttering something incomprehensible, the woman placed her hand on the boy's leg. He could feel the effect right away. The pain that was biting him to the very bone moments before had dissipated.
About a thank you?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Brother!
The little girl hugged the boy. The man considered the two with serene eyes.
Go ahead. Time won't wait.
The boy nodded and was about to run when he suddenly stopped and turned around.
Is there anything I can do for you in return?
Indeed. Did you ever find yourself in a situation where you can lend a helping hand to someone? When that time comes, remember what you felt here today.
He didn't tell him to save others at all costs. He didn't ask him to risk his life in return. He wished for the boy to remember the feeling of having his life saved, because he knew that by doing so, the boy and the girl would one day save another of their own will.
Okay.
Thank you, mister. Thank you, miss. Thank you.
The two children headed for the road. The two adults stayed behind. The woman jovially patted the man on the shoulder.
Well, Setsuna, what's next?
Now that those two are gone, only we and the dead remain in the area. Might be a good idea to destroy the whole thing before the fire spreads.
Alrighty. Then how about we destroy that bridge and then crash that building over there down to isolate this place?
Sounds good. In the end, that was the life I chose for myself. The injustices of fate would manifest even in worlds where no evil, only good existed. I wasn't thinking of saving everyone in the entire universe. Of course, the notion was impossible. Still, I couldn't bring myself to turn a blind eye to injustices happening before my very eyes. This was the life I chose for myself. When my raison d'etre was to fight the unfair nature of the world. It mattered little if I couldn't prevail. Nor would I care if I lost. After all, my ways of life wasn't a competition. Still, I refused to give up until the very end. One thing I would never give in to were half-hearted compromises. If I kept saving up one people one after another without a moment's rest, I might reach something. Something that no one had yet to see or experience before. My way of life was grounded in an absurd dream. If I was alone, I might buckle under the pressure, crushed by the weight of ruthless reality. But I had Lilith at my side. To smile, laugh, make fun of me, cry, and brush off her tears. Together with me. Someone had someone to kick my ass the moment I tried giving up. Someone who consoled me when depressed. Someone I loved. I had nothing to be afraid of.
Don't you worry, I got your back. Wherever you go, I'll follow. That's the way of life I chose for myself.
I so break through these flames for joy in my heart. Not to die, but to live. I barely have 1/10 of our old powers. Powers that, at the time, rivaled those of gods. Yet, I was still more than enough to save people who needed our help. We're neither saints nor heroes, nor angels or demons, and definitely not gods. We're two simple humans. One chose to pledge his life to saving one others. Another who chose to oversee the deeds of her love. And so, we press ever onwards. I chose to live my life in the moment, and so of my own free will. Frank.
The young man darted forward. The girl followed him, keeping her eye on his back. This was that kind of story. A story about a man and a woman who chose such a life.
Duck.
And that's the end of the story.
The young child who had been listening gave the girl a questioning look.
I'm assuming that's me.
I think so.
I have a question.
I don't know if this is me because it's implying that there's a female playing the story.
Screw it, just go. Keep going, Duck. Just keep consistent.
Yes? What is it?
Did those two live happily ever after?
The girl made a gentle smile and shook her head.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I know one thing. Those two never regretted their decisions.
What does that mean?
I should have done this, or I should have done that instead. I should have lived like this, or I should have lived like that. They never doubted the choices they made, and only ever pressed onwards.
Then were they happy?
The girl patted the child on the head.
You will find the answer once you grow up. In any case, it has grown dark. I think I can hear your mother calling for you.
Okay. Thank you for the story, miss.
The child gave the girl a small bow, then turned to leave. The latter observed her receding back. The child had yet to find anything in her life. Dreams, hopes, despair, as well as everything man holds dear. But once a person chanced upon one of those notions, they'd hold on to them and start their journey towards their raison d'etre, towards their goal in life. Like the young man that pierced through the sky like a blast of thunder, like a girl that followed after him like a shooting star.
Ah, even now your journey has yet to end. It goes on and on still.
Her whisper melted into the starry sky, heard by no one, but the words it carried were without doubt correct. For somewhere among the multitude of parallel words, for somewhere among the multitude of possibilities, there were two shadows, one of a man, another of a woman, dashing through the darkness of fate.